Hello. Today's topic is filling the sprayer. The filling speed of the sprayer is very important. Considering that when spraying, at a speed of 15 kilometers per hour and a working width of 24 meters, we can treat 5 hectares in 5 minutes. And with a working width of 36 meters, we can treat 8 hectares in 5 minutes. Saving 5 minutes during filling is really significant for the sprayer's daily output. You can fill the sprayer either using the top fill boom from the main tank. But of course, the operator has to climb the steps, open the lid, and position the hose. Then climb down, mix the chemicals, climb back up, and close the lid. It's better if you can fill up from the side while standing firmly on the ground. It's safe and convenient. And all you have to do is connect the hose to the tank. Filling is faster when using a filling pump. However, it's important to know that a centrifugal pump has the problem that it must be flooded in order to suck. And it also cannot suck from great depths. In contrast, a piston diaphragm pump can easily draw water from a depth of 5 or even 10 meters, but its performance is not that great. The best solution for optimum comfort is to have a piston diaphragm spray pump on the sprayer, along with a centrifugal filling pump. At the beginning, when you're filling the tank, turn on the spray pump. It draws water from a tank, for example, and pumps it through a filling pump. This also floods it, so once the feed pump is flooded, you can turn off the spray system and leave only the filling pump on. Another option is to fill up at a fire hydrant. First of all, the hydrant provides clean water, so there's no problem with cleaning the filters. In addition, the hydrant has high pressure, around 6 bar, so filling is relatively quick. We need to make sure that the chemicals from the sprayer tank do not enter the water supply system through the hydrant. Therefore, there must always be a check valve on the tank and an opening inside the tank under the lid. In the event of a malfunction where the chemical could enter the tank under pressure, this opening allows false air to be drawn in, interrupting the flow of liquid and preventing the chemical from escaping. In a straight tube, the liquid flows in a straight line and has the fastest flow. Whenever there is a bend in the pipe, turbulence occurs, which causes the fluid flow to slow down to some extent. It is said that with a 90-degree bend, each bend reduces performance by 7%. The cross-sectional area of the filling opening is certainly important because the filling rate is determined by the fluid flow rate and the size of the opening. For a 2-inch size, the inner diameter is approximately 44 millimeters. For a 3-inch size, it is 71 millimeters. But if we calculate the area, it's 15 centimeters for 2 inches and 40 centimeters for 3 inches. So, a cross-sectional area that is more than 2.5 times larger means filling that is 2.5 times faster. When filling up from a tanker, connect the hose to the tank's fill port, open the valve, and let the water flow into the tank. By pressurizing the tanker to approximately 0.5 to 1 bar, we can pump water into the tank. Of course, at 2 inches, it goes pretty slowly. 3 inches would be better. However, at 2 inches, we have the option to stop filling and start sucking, so that we can empty the hose leading to the tank and then close the valve. If we have the opportunity to speed things up, for example, if we install a valve on the other end of the hose as well. So, once we've filled the tank, we close the valve on the hose. And that way we don't have to drain the hose. We just disconnect it and it's ready for the next filling. The problem, however, arises with the 3-inch hose, because it's so heavy when filled with water or liquid fertilizer that staff are not normally allowed to handle it. That's why it's a good idea to have an air intake on the tank, and use this air to push the fertilizer all the way into the tank, after which we can easily disconnect the empty hose. Another option for filling the sprayer is to use water that runs off from roofs, parking lots, or other paved surfaces. However, it's important to note that this water isn't clean because there's straw, leaves, pollen, dust, and bird droppings on the roofs and on the ground. So the water isn't completely clear, and we have to account for organic turbidity, which can reduce the product's effectiveness. Another problem is that the water is cold and should be heated first, because otherwise it can cause stress to the plants. It's best to have an above-ground tank into which we can pump water, even from a fire hydrant, since it's clean and will heat up in the tank. The tank should be painted a darker color and definitely shouldn't be see-through. To prevent the water in the tank from going bad, when we fill the sprayer with chemicals in the field, it naturally takes longer than when we have everything ready. For one customer with a large tank, we had to use a total of 47 cans to fill the sprayer once. Of course, that takes a very long time. It is better to have a tanker on the field that has a device for pre-mixing chemicals while the sprayer is driving through the field and spraying. The tanker operator can pre-mix the chemicals when the sprayer arrives for its next refill. Quickly refills chemicals and water. It's even faster when the tanker has already mixed the chemicals with all the fertilizers and micronutrients in advance, and simply fills the sprayer with the dissolved mixture. Probably the ideal solution would be if everyone had a professional stationary filling station. It contains a source of warm, clean water and chemicals and fertilizers stored under lock and key. There is a pre-mixing unit, and the sprayer is parked on a paved area under a roof. The sprayer can be filled with chemicals and fertilizers here, and can be rinsed off after use. All waste is collected in a tank, and from there to the special phytobac facility, where bacteria break down all the chemicals. And there will be no risk to the groundwater. If you have a large sprayer tank, then you should consider whether to still drive to the field with a tanker or mix everything directly on this machine and just apply the crop protection in the field. Then we can save on labor, which would otherwise be spent transporting water, and can do other work. Filling the sprayer significantly affects daily output, work comfort, and the operator's health. Buying a modern sprayer and filling it like 30 years ago in a bucket with a stick is probably not what the operator expects. The sprayer is very important for the profitability of a farm, for yields, and for what we ultimately harvest. And that is why we should provide the operator with the best possible working conditions